Well, this is it.
It's definitely a fixer-upper.
It's a dump is what it is.
Giles, it's not that bad.
Young lady, I've seen more well-maintained super mutant camps. Even the rust has rust.
We can make this work.
If you say so. At least there's a bar here. I propose we start there and work our way out.
We'll get somewhere secure to sleep and eat first. Then maybe we'll look at the bar.
Honestly, you people, you just don't see the big picture, do you?
And what exactly would the big picture be?
Let me spell it out for you slowly. Giles like gin. Gin make Giles happy. No gin make Giles grumpy. Grumpy Giles has habit of flinging Molotovs. You see where I'm going with that?
Maybe we should repair the bar first?
Anyway, all this is irrelevant unless we can evict the current residents. I'm having a word with Jerry when I see him. He didn't mention the place was crawling with ghouls.
So welcome back to another game of Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Please excuse my voice, I've had a tickly cough for a few days now and doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. So let's start out with round one. So Sarah's going to kick off, she's going to take a single move and then a single shot into that ghoul up the board. That's a hit with an armor break, they only have 1 armor so he automatically takes a 2 damage. That ghoul's going to respond by taking 2 moves down the board. Nash is up next for the survivors, he's going to roll for VATS. No VATS for this round. So he's going to take a single move and then a single shot into that ghoul that's just moved. And that's a miss. So ghoul number 1 that was standing beside him, he's going to take 2 moves down the board as well. Kate's up next for survivors, she's going to roll for VATS. She's got 1 VATS for this round, so she's going to try taking a few shots with her hunter's hunting rifle into that ghoul. First one's a miss. Second one's a hit. And that goes down for the count. So for her final move, she's going to move up the board. Another of our ghouls are going to take 2 moves forward. Hope up next to the survivors, let's see if she has any VATS. She's got no VATS for this round, so she's going to take a single move and then a charge into that ghoul that's just moved around the corner. Next to our feral ghouls are going to take 2 moves forward. Giles is up next for the survivors. He's just going to take 2 moves up the board. And then we'll finish off the round by moving all the other ghouls forward. So we'll start with the fireman. Then the last of the ferals. Then we've got the armoured ghoul moving up. The putrid glowing one's going to be the last one of the ghouls to activate, because the bloated one's not actually going to move until they get into range of him. So we'll start round 2 by looking at the event card. That's Super Mutant Broadcast. Not much to report home about that. So Sarah once again is going to kick it off for the survivors. She's going to take 2 shots into that ghoul in front of her. First one's a miss. The second one a hit for a big 4 damage. And that ghoul's down. The first of our regular ferals is going to take a move. And then a charge. Giles is up next for the survivors. He's going to do 2 attacks into that ghoul that's just moved. First one's a hit. Blocks 1, takes 1. Second one's a hit with an armor break, so he takes the 2 damage. Ghoul Fireman's going to be up next. He's going to take a move and a charge. We're going to go with Hope next. Let's roll for VATs. Hope gets 1 for this round, so they're going to take some attacks into that ghoul that they've charged. That first one's a miss. Second one's a miss. Third one's a hit with an armor break, so he takes 2 damage. We're going to go with that ghoul next into Hope. First attack's a crit. Hope blocks it, but then takes a rad from it. Second attack's a quick action for 3 damage. Hope blocks 1, takes 2, and one of those turns into a rad damage. We're going to go with Nash next for the survivors. He's got a big old 2 VATs for this round. So he's going to use 2 of those to do a move and a charge. He's going to do an attack with his Ripper into the Fireman Ghoul. That's a hit for 3 damage. He blocks 1 and he takes 2. Next ghoul's going to do some attacks into Hope. That's a hit. Hope takes the 2 damage. That's a big massive hit, that's 4 damage. Hope can't really block much of that, unfortunately that's Hope down. Kate's going to round it off for the survivors this round. Kate's got 1 VATS, so they're going to move. And take 2 shots into that ghoul in front of her. First one's a miss. Second one's a hit with some additional damage there. Ghoul doesn't block any of it, and that ghoul's down. Armoured Ghoul's going to go next. He's going to charge into Nash and do a single swipe. And he must have stumbled on his way there because he misses. And the Putrid Ghoul's going to continue stumbling up the board with 2 moves to finish off round 2. Our event card for round 3 is quiet, so all reactions are going to be at +2. So we're going to kick off with the survivors, and we're going to start with Sarah again. She's going to take a single move up the board, and she should be out in the open, so she can take a single shot into the Putrid Glowing one. That is a crit. He blocks 1 of the damage and takes 1. Feral Ghoul in front of Giles are going to do a couple of attacks into him. That first one's a miss. Second one's a hit. He blocks 1 and he takes 1. Giles is going to return the favour by hitting back into that ghoul. That's a hit with an armour break. So that goes down for the count. And then he's going to do attack into the fireman. And he misses. So the fireman's going to hit back at Giles. His first attack's a crit. And he takes the 2 damage. Second one's a hit for 3 damage. And Giles manages to block it all. Nash up next. He's got 2 VATS. So he's going to use his Ripper to attack the Fireman Ghoul. So that's a hit with an armour break. He's only actually got 1 health left, so he's down for the count as well. So he's going to focus on the Armoured Ghoul. That's a hit with 2 armour break. Takes 2 damage. And his final shot's a big miss. The Armoured Ghoul is going to return the favour by hitting back on Nash with his swipe. That is a crit for 4 damage. Nash blocks 1 and takes 3. And the second one's a miss. Kate's going to round it out for the survivors. She's got 2 VATS. So she's going to take a move, and then some shots into the Putrid Glowing one. That's a hit with 2 armour break. He takes 3 damage. Next one's a miss. And the final shot is a hit with an armor break, and he takes an additional 2 damage. Our next ghoul's going to take a charge into Nash, and then he's going to do a swipe. And he's missed. Putrid Glowing One's going to finish off this round by charging into Kate. He's going to do a swipe. And fortunately he misses. We're going to end with his radiation burst. He does 2 rads. Kate manages to block 1, so she takes 1 rad damage. So I just wanted to do a little bit about radiation damage and ghouls. So from my understanding of it, looking at their cards they've got, Feral Ghoul attacks. If he's successful, 1 of his damage converts into 1 rad, which actually takes away from your over health. Difference between that and the Putrid Glowing One, when it does its radiation burst, it seems to have an area of effect, which means you roll against your armour, which I don't think you do with the Feral Ghoul, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Now back to the battle. So we're going to kick off round 4 by looking at the event card. Nuka-Cola theme, so expertise tests are at a +2 bonus for this round. So because they're evenly matched, control's going to pass over to the ghouls, so we're going to start off where we ended the last round with the Putrid Glowing One. He's going to take 2 attacks into Kate. That's a hit, she takes 2 damage. That's also a hit for 3 damage. She manages to block it. And his rad burst. Once again, she's going to take 1 rad damage from that. Kate's going to return the favour by attacking the Putrid Glowing One. She's got no VATs for this round. That's a hit for 2 damage. That's also a hit for additional damage. And he takes all 3. Next to the ghouls is going to do 2 attacks into Nash. First one's a miss. Second one's a hit for 3 damage. He blocks 1, takes 2, and of course one of those are going to convert into rad damage. Nash is up next. He's got no VATs for this round. So he's going to use his Rippers to attack the ghoul that just attacked him. That's a hit for 2 damage. And that ghoul's down. So his final attack's going to be on the armoured ghoul. And he blocks all the damage. The armoured ghoul is going to attack Nash with a couple of swipes. That first one's a hit, and he takes 1 damage. And his second attack is a miss. Giles is going to go next. That's unfortunately 2 misses into that armoured ghoul in front of him. Sarah's also going to try her luck by charging into the armoured ghoul. And she also manages to miss with an incendiary baton. So we're down to the 5th and final round. Let's look at the event card. Black Mountain Radio. Just a bit of fluff to end off the final round. So we're going to stick with the ghouls because they are outmanned now. Putrid Glowing One's going to go first. That first one's a miss. Second one's a hit. Kate manages to block it. Kate's going to do 2 attacks back into the Putrid Glowing One. She's got 2 VATs for this round. That is a hit. And the putrid glowing one's down for the count. And then she's going to use her remaining 3 moves to move up the board. The armoured ghoul's going to take 2 attacks into Sarah. That first one's a miss. Second one is a hit for 1 damage, and then that's going to convert into 1 rad damage. Sarah's going to hit back at the armoured ghoul. With 2 misses. Nash is up next. He's got no VATs for this round. That's a hit with 2 armor break. And he takes 2 damage. And his next shot's a miss. So it's all going to come down to Giles. He's got 2 attacks into the armored ghoul. First one's a miss. The second one is a hit. Well, he manages to block 1. He's only got 1 health left, so he's down for the count as well.
Well, that's the last of them.
Not all of them.
Well, I guess we have 1 more radioactive monstrosity to take care of.
Good luck with that.
What?
What?
Do you have a previous appointment or something?
Yes, and I'm already late.
And what exactly is so important?
It's a medical emergency.
You're going to the bar, aren't you?
Well, I never.
Giles.
Well, anyway, Toodlepip. I'll see you in the bar after you dispose of this ruffian.
So thank you very much for watching this battle report of the survivors trying to claim the last stop motel from the feral ghouls that are residing there. I'm hopefully going to upload a little short battle report of them versus the bloated glowing one over my Patreon account. That'll be up over the next few days hopefully. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!